Living in Japan taught me 3 things. Ramen is amazing, karaoke is mandatory, and drinking can get you in a lot of trouble. There was this one time when I was working as a teacher where me and 2 of my other American teachers, my friend Ian and this other guy, I kinda hate this other guy, so we're gonna call him Benedict Arnold. Anyway, we were going to one of my school's drinking parties. If you're not familiar, when you work as a teacher in Japan, most of the staff gets together every so often for a big dinner with beers, and then they go to an after party, and they all get to go a little crazy. All of the normally pretty serious teachers I worked with were wildin', down in beers, blasting karaoke. Now there was this girl I worked with at this school, let's call her Hina. Not her real name, but you're gonna see why I'm not using her real name. Now here's the thing about Hina, she was so hot, oh my god. Literally exactly my type. And we flirted at work all the time. So I had a pretty big crush on this girl. This girl sees me, runs over, grabs my arm, and pulls me to sit with her. So Ian sat down with me and Benedict went off and did Benedict things because he's Benedict. Freaking Benedict. But Hina immediately has her hands all over me. She's sitting on my lap, she's cuddling. Now Ian, who's sitting next to me, he's never met this girl before, and so his eyes are like dinner plates. He is looking at me like I have the most game in the entire world. And you know what, to be honest, in that moment, I felt like I did. I felt like $1,000,000. I walk into this bar and this cute girl is all over me. You know, I'm not ashamed to say I kind of felt like the man. Felt good. Felt like a king. But this was actually kind of a problem because Hina had a boyfriend. And the more she and I drank together, the more flirtatious she became. Now, I'm not that kind of guy. If there's a boyfriend, it's off limits. My mom would smack me upside the head if I did. But as the night progressed, she started going from flirtatious to handsy. And she started to, oh god, I can't even explain this, kids are watching. She started to do something that was incredibly inappropriate to do in front of all of your coworkers. At this point, Ian's eyes were like satellite dishes. I've never seen someone more uncomfortable. She started whispering things in my ear as well that cannot be repeated. At this point, everyone in the room has noticed us. I could feel all of their eyes on me, and I knew I needed to be careful. I didn't want any rumors to start. But luckily for me and her, the night was over. She got in a taxi, drove off. But as I'm getting ready to leave, Ian and Benedict tell me that they heard from the other teachers that Hina did not, in fact, have a boyfriend. She had a fiancé, a Japanese police officer fiancé, and was getting married in like a month. Needless to say, that would have been bad. Anyway, you can imagine, it's a small town, people heard, and somehow the rumor that spread among the teachers was that even though she was the instigator, she came on to me, that I was this evil, big, bad American trying to home wreck a fair Japanese maiden. Probably no thanks to Benedict, by the way. Benedict was just that kind of guy. Real snake. A few weeks later, Hina and I, as well as some other teachers from a different school, went for some drinks, just a more casual, easygoing night. And one of the other teachers our age, one of the 10 people who were in that town, was looking at me like I was scum. Anyway, that night, Hina kept saying some crazy stuff. When I brought up the fact that she had a fiancé, she said, and I quote, "I'm still single. I'm not married yet, so I'm still single." And then she kept trying to cozy up the entire night. Yeah, so Hina just might not be a very good person. Everyone kind of understood immediately what Hina was all about. I was vindicated, but man, she was so hot though. It was absolutely a bullet dodged, and all of my friends said the same thing, but man, keeps you up at night. There was this other time for a different school where I was invited, and we had made it to the 3rd after party. At that point, after a main party plus 3, I was pretty far gone. I remember right at the end of the night, the lady brought drinks to our table. I went to grab mine and just knocked over every drink on the table. I could barely function, but I was able to walk home. Like I said, it was a small town, so I could do that. I got to my apartment, took off all my clothes, went to bed, slept for about 20 minutes, and I woke up to the entire entire room like tornado spinning. And in my apartment, I had a tiny Japanese style bathroom, this exact one. So I went into the bathroom, opened up the toilet lid, and threw up all over the floor. I felt like I was going to die. So I just laid there in my underwear, surrounded by puke, and I couldn't think of what to do to help myself in this situation. So I just started going, "Help! Help me! Help!" It was literally one of my most pathetic moments, I think, ever. But after laying there for like an hour, I mustered up my strength, cleaned up all the puke, and then literally for the next 24 hours, my head didn't stop spinning. Moral of the story, I don't drink, I guess. But if you do, keep it in moderation. Anyway, that's it. Bye.